Boys, welcome to another video on the channel. We are back with some rugby league tips and predictions. We are 17 rounds deep into the comp. The strike rate hasn't been the greatest. The underdogs have been having themselves a season, but if you've been paying attention or if you've been trusting your gut, you would have been picking all right. Myself, that has not been the case. Looking at last week's results, we went 2 from 5. We had one perfect game, which I love to see. It was the stinker. The Bunnies with a 14-0 win over the boys from the Northern Beaches. And we backed the young fullback to bag a meat pie. I believe it was his first of his career. We love to see that type of stuff. The Roosters, we thought would barely scrape by the Bulldogs, who would show a little fight, but that ended up being a pretty big score. No Daniel Dubois. As for the rest of the bloody matches, red carpets all around. A crime scene. Speaking of a crime scene, the New Zealand Warriors got murdered in the Gold Coast in broad daylight. A historic win for them. A historic performance from Jaden Campbell. The Storm sneaked past the Dolphins. And the Tigers, momentum. We sometimes talk about momentum. We saw it early with the Bunnies, jumped off when they played the Broncos because I'm biased. And the Tigers heading into this round with back-to-back wins under their belt. We're back with 7 games this week. Let's go ahead and take a peruse at what these squads look like and make some picks. Game numero uno takes place Friday night, 8 PM. We have a banger on the cards with the Bulldogs hosting the Sharks. And as we take a look at the ins and outs for the Bulldogs, one missing, Connor Tracy on the outs list. So they have Taff coming in to play fullback, Bronson Xerri's back, and they've also got Preston and Critter in reserves. Looking at the Sharkies, they'll be without Braden Hamlin-Wele. That is the sole change. And taking his place, coming off the pine, they have Tukuhau Tapua. As for our pick in this first match, this is a round 2 rematch. The Sharks did get the better of the Dogs at Shark Park. 25-6 was the score back then. Looking at previous form, both teams coming into this off a loss. 3 wins from the previous 5 out of the Dogs and 2 out of 5 from the Sharkies. So both teams pretty disappointing in their losses, the Sharks in particular at home. I'm looking for a big bounce back out of them, and for the Bulldogs to keep it pretty close, may even win at home, but I'll be on the side of the Sharks and their pack, their outside backs. I do think they haven't beat across the board except for maybe their sixes, but yeah, there's too much strike in that Sharks pack for me to ignore them. So we're going to take them 1 to 12 points, and to score a meat pie, we'll be looking at Ronaldo Mulitalo to put some pressure on the powerhouse Jarrell Skelton, although Critter may back up, so he may not even be on the team come kickoff. Back with another traditional Super Saturday, kicking off the first of 3. We head across the ditch with the Warriors hosting the Broncos. Both teams struggling a bit. Looking at the ins and outs, starting with the home side here. They'll be without Bunty Alfour and Sean Johnson, so Tamaide Martin will be starting in the 7, Shana Harris Tavita in the 6. They also get Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Barnett, who was 18th man, and also Kurt Capewell will be backing up, it says, as he is on the bench for the Broncos, or their origin boys. They're set to back up. Named in the reserves, they'll be without, though, Israel Leota and Jordan Ricky. Starting on the right edge for Ricky, they've got Jack Gojevsky, with Hetherington in the 13, but like I said, they're expected to have Carrigan, Haas, and Reece Walsh at the back. As for our pick, looking at the head-to-head, the Broncos do have the wood over the Warriors. 22 wins out of the 43 played. And like I said at the start, both teams down bad at the moment. The Warriors coming into this riding back-to-back losses, and the Broncos 3 in a row. As for my pick in this, I'm not too sure if Walsh will play, but even if he doesn't, I'm leaning towards the home side in this. I do think the Broncos are missing a cool head in the halves. Their skipper, of course, Adam Reynolds. And I think between the two teams, the Warriors look more dangerous, in my opinion, without Sean Johnson, who maybe wasn't a 100% upon returning. I will never know, but I will be back in the home side on this. The underdog will take them 1 to 12 points, and to score a try, we're going to jump on yet again Marata Niukore, who will be coming up against Ezra Mam and Brendan Piokura. He's come close these last couple of weeks. We're spinning the block one more time, 3rd time's the charm. Here's hoping he pulls through. In the second game of Super Saturday, we have a couple more teams that are struggling. Niue Knights host the Parramatta Eels, the last placed Parramatta Eels. Looking at the ins and outs, starting with the home side, the Knights will have a player on debut, Will Price. He'll be making his debut at 5'8". That is their only change to the side. With Parramatta, they're expecting Mitchell Moses to back up after that masterful performance for the New South Wales Blues. They also get Micah Sivo back on the wing. Russell moves infield again, and Deja Anasi once again drops to 18th man. And filling in for the suspended Kama Tuilangi, they got Bryce Cartwright. He'll be on the edge. Matt Dury will be filling a spot on the bench. And another Arthur is set to make his debut coming off the pine. Matt Arthur in the number 14. As for our picks, first of all, looking at the head-to-head, it's another close one with the Nui Knights having the slight edge, winning 22 matches out of 43 played. Although their recent meetings have gone the way of the Parramatta Eels, smashing them in both occasions, both in 2023 and 2022 by double digits. And the form guide, we all know, Parramatta last place, won from their previous 4 back-to-back losses heading into this. And for the Knights, after beating the Titans, they've gone down to some premium competition in the Bulldogs, Storm and Panthers. So who do we take? Do we back Mitch Moses backing up an Origin Masterclass against a much lesser Nui Knights who haven't really looked that bad against higher level competition? It's another pick'em for sure, in my opinion. I think I want to back the home side to slightly edge out this dangerous Parramatta pack. Actually, no, we're going to stick with Moses here. Moses, Dill Brown, Clint Gutterson, Reg, Junior Paulo. You're expecting these boys to have big matches. But yeah, we're going to take another visitor. We're going to take another close game, 1 to 12 points. And let us get a slice of Mitchell Moses for a try. The man with the hot hand. It is a pretty stacked round of footy. The headliner for Saturday, we have the Storm hosting the Raiders. So with the Storm, they're expecting to have their players back up. That is the theme for this round. The player they'll be without, though, on the outs list, Nick Meaney. So jumping into that centre position, they've got Jack Howarth, although they do have Remus Smith in reserves. So he'll most likely jump in. Garlic makes way for Harry Grant, as we said. Coates on the wing, Anderson in the centres. Looking at the Raiders, Starling's back, so Zach Wolford makes way. They'll also be without Nick Kotrick. So Alba Hopoate comes back into the squad, and they'll be debuting Jordan Martin in the 17. As for our pick in this match, first of all, looking at the head-to-head, a lopsided 37 wins out of 53 played for the Storm. I will be siding with them. They are red hot at the moment, winning 4 from their previous 5, coming into this one riding 3 wins in a row against the Knights, Warriors and Dolphins. We're going to actually take them by 1 to 12 and back Ricky's men to respond after their performance last week. As for the try scorer, we will jump on Xavier Coates. In the first of 3 for the Sunday session, we have the Dragons hosting the Dolphins at Netstrata Jubilee. Looking at the lineup, the Dragons off the rest, they get Moses Sualii back in the centres, which is huge. Again, Origin players backing up Zach Lomax, Ben Hunt, Jaden Sua, who could bang because he had an absolute stinker for the Maroons. Looking over to the other side of the field in the Finns, they have Jack Bostock on the outs list. So jumping onto that wing, they've got Desi New. Hamiso is named. This is obviously prior to the match that just happened, and I don't think he'll play. He was injured in that match with the shoulder, so I do wonder if they just play it safe and rest him. I think they will actually. Gafusi still on the bench, as well as Tivita Pangai Jr. Looking forward to our pick for this match. In the short history, the Dolphins have won 2 of the 3 games played. This is also a round 2 matchup where the Finns just demolished the Dragons, 38 points to 0. It's another genuine pick'em, but for me, I'm going to lean on the side of the Finns, who got close last week to putting out Melbourne's flame. Got a bit unlucky with the cause. I do think as a unit, they are the smoother team, the better team, and we're going to back them in to get it done by 1 to 12 points. As we all know, Lomax coming off Origin 1 was an absolute freak of nature. Can he do it again? Will be interesting to see. You also have the story of Ben Hunt and Jaden Sua stinking up the joints at Origin Game 2, so they could be in for huge games. It should be a close contest. So yeah, give me the Finns, 1 to 12 points, and for try scorers, we'll go fishing for the goat. Give me Marky Nichols coming off the bench. Game 2 of the Sunday sesh takes us to Bluebet Stadium where the Panthers host the Cowboys. Looking at the lineup, the Panthers have Mitch Kenny and Jack Cole both returning. Summerton and Strider fall out of the 17. Matt Eisenhuth replaces Trent Toilau on the bench. And as we've been saying, all Origin players are named to back up for the Cowboys. They have all their rep stars ready to back up except for Jeremiah Nanai. Finefi Uyaki joins the starting side. Jordan McLean makes his return. And that's about it. With Tom Dearden in reserves, you'd expect him to play for Jake Clifford. As for our pick, we will be keeping it short and sweet. We will be backing the home side here, the Panthers. I do think it'll be another close contest, but ultimately have the Panthers forward pack getting over the top of the Cowboys, with Jerome Luai having a blinder of a season so far. We're looking for him to keep his momentum going. But yeah, dead set, this round, it's full of bangers, full of a lot of games that are tough to predict. But like I said, give me the Panthers, short and sweet, 1-12, and to score a try, we'll be hunting the ghost, Dale Edwards. And the final stop for round 17 takes us to the Roosters versus the Tigers at Allianz. Looking at the lineup with Junior Ponga serving a 4-game suspension, Sitili Tupouniua will be the one to play at centre. My guy in fantasy, Terrell May, still named to start, with Lindsay Collins set to come in off the bench. The rest of the Origin reps are named in their respective positions. Looking at the Tigers, they'll be welcoming back Dave Clemmer, and have Bateman, Olam and Charlie Staines named in reserves. As for our pick, looking at the head-to-head, the Roosters are an absolute bogey for the Tigers, winning 29 games out of 38 played. In their previous meetings, they held the Tigers to single digits, whilst the Roosters scored 32 on them and 72 a couple of years ago. And their form heading into this, both teams coming into this riding back-to-back wins. As for our pick, again, we're going to keep it short and sweet, as I do feel like there's a bit of a class difference between the two. Winning 3 out of their previous 5, everything just points to the Roosters, which could be a bad omen, although we're going to keep it safe here and take the Roosters, 13 plus points. As for our try scorer, we are going to look towards Angus Crichton, who's come off an absolute heater against the Maroons. We're going to jump on his coattails for a little bit of value, and yeah, that is about it. As per usual, if you have any tips and predictions of your own, let us know in the comment section down below. And for more rugby league related content or more content in general, go ahead and drop your boy a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you later.